Hey guys, it's Shadow Heat here. How's everyone doing today? So, 4 years ago, in the year 2021, there was a game that caught the world by surprise. This game was very innovative, crossed multiple genres of games, and had a player base of over 20 million players. Some even called it a Halo killer. Now, fast forward to today, the year 2025, and Splitgate is back and better than ever. That's right, Splitgate 2 is almost upon us, and the open alpha for this game is available right now for PC, Xbox Series X, and PS5. Before we take a look at what Splitgate 2 is going to be like, I want to mention that this video is sponsored by 1047 Games. Also, I highly recommend you check out and join the open alpha. You can check it out in the link in the description below. There's probably no better way to see what Splitgate 2 is like than to experience it for yourself. Now then, let's take a look at what's coming. So, right off the bat, there's quite a few new things with Splitgate 2. There's currently 3 factions available, each one with different characters to play as, and each one with different weapons available to use. I'm kind of partial to the DMR type weapon, but there's quite a lot of other fun weapons to use, and that's saying a lot coming from me, because for those of you who know or who have seen me play in other games before, you probably notice I don't really use precision weapons much, and I'm typically the run and gun close quarters type of player. But somehow in Splitgate 2, that particular DMR has really caught my attention. These factions and characters all have their own advantages and disadvantages, so while you can just pick a random class and character and just jump right in, I highly recommend you take some time to read about each character and create your own perfect class. There's so many options, and honestly, I have barely scratched the surface too. To be more specific, each of the 3 factions now has 8 weapons, 5 primaries and 3 secondaries. So you'll have 24 base weapons to experiment with in your loadouts, like the Sabris Goliath revolver, the Meridian Phasma SMG, and the Arrows Blitz shotgun. And of course, there are other power weapons to pick up, like the Deadbolt sniper and the BFB. Each faction also has 3 pieces of equipment, different pieces of equipment, totaling 9 different types of gear to try, like placing a floating portal with the Ares portal. Now, you may be thinking, these characters and weapons are cool and all, but what about the gameplay? What's changed? Don't worry, I got you all covered. Let's take a look at the gameplay now. So, Splitgate 2 comes with a lot of new exciting game modes, including some classic game modes too. One thing I want to mention real quick before we get in depth into this, I know one concern some people had during the first Splitgate game was the heavy use of portal combat. It was a very fun and interesting gameplay mechanic, but some people just didn't want to use it or found it difficult to pick up. Well, this time around with Splitgate 2, there's still portal gameplay, but it really feels a lot more optional compared to the previous game. You don't have to worry about being at a huge disadvantage if you don't use portals. Now then, in Splitgate 2, there are 2 new arena game modes and 2 new maps as well for this open alpha. And there's also a new multi-team portal warfare mode as well, which we'll get into in a little bit. The included arena game modes are Hot Zone, Team Deathmatch, Splitball, Firecracker, and Domination. The 2 maps added are Bypass and Eden. The first game mode, Hot Zone, is a 4v4 round-based mode, where first to win is 3 rounds. First to win 3 rounds claims the victory. Teams battle to control zones and score points. Maintain the zone without an opponent entering to build up control until it's capped. This is shared progress between teams, so you can swoop in at the end to capture the zone. Once the zone is capped, there's a short cooldown before a new zone is spawned, and you'll see in a UI where the next zone will spawn. And all you do is just capture 2 zones to win the round. The next one is Team Deathmatch, a classic in any game. Like most games, it's a race to get the most kills. However, in Splitgate 2, it is round-based. Whichever team gets the 20 kills first wins the round, and you get to win best of 5 rounds. So, the first team to win 3 rounds wins the entire match, basically. In some ways, it kind of works like how Oddball in Halo Infinite works when it became round-based. So, it's interesting to see how this works for TDM as well. The next game type is Splitball. This new game mode is basically a mix of Capture the Flag and Oddball, from Halo, but with a new twist. In split ball, your team plays offense and defense at the same time. You basically try to capture split balls from around the map and bring them back to your base. Meanwhile, you or your opponents can steal the split balls from each other's bases. It's actually very similar to how Stockpile works in Halo Infinite, but is arguably a lot more fast-paced, especially with the ability to portal into your opponent's base and quickly steal their split balls. Next up is Firecracker. This game mode is basically a mix of Halo's Assault game type and Call of Duty's Search and Destroy mode. You can respawn in this game type, and teams take turns being the attackers and defenders. Of course, one of the bigger differences is that instead of a typical bomb that you're planting or defusing, you're actually planting fireworks. And if they detonate, it's a huge display of fireworks. Literally. Hence the game type name. Alright, the last game mode we'll be taking a look at is another classic game mode, and that is Domination. But this mode is a lot improved from the original version in Splitgate. Teams of 2 compete to conquer and control multiple hills while thwarting the opposing team from trying to do the same. To score, players must stand on a hill until it's captured, then get a point for each second it's under control. So once again, it's kind of similar to how the new version of King of the Hill works in Halo Infinite as well. So that's it for all the new and returning game modes. Now, let's take a look at the 2 new maps added to this alpha. The first map is called Bypass. It is a beautiful map set in a tranquil park, complete with cafes, gondolas, and even a planetarium, which features a centralized launch pad for exciting mid-air skirmishes. It's Splitgate's biggest and most vertical arena map yet, with multiple momentum portal walls strategically placed so you can soar above the competition. The next map is called Eden. This map is designed so that players can quickly and easily navigate around the map and beautiful scenery. So that's why this map has a lot of portal walls on the inside and outside areas for players to utilize. But there's also a really interesting new thing called a launch portal. What's a launch portal, you ask? It's a portal wall and launch pad combined, so you can send it like never before. Okay, so now the new huge highlight of Splitgate 2 in this alpha, and that is the thing that I mentioned earlier, which is multi-team portal warfare. This is a completely new Splitgate experience. It features 24 players in an 8v8v8 on a new massive map that's 20 times bigger than any map in Splitgate history. It's kind of like the finals and Halo's big team battle combined, but the new experience combines the fluidity of portal movement with an expansive play space that has tons of characters for exciting engagements. The 2 game modes available for this are multi-team hot zone and multi-team domination. The new map that's made this all possible, that supports all these huge game modes, is called Glacier. A large map like this is almost certainly needed for something like this. Trust me, this 8v8v8 game mode, like all of them, they can get really chaotic, but in a good way. It's just pure chaotic fun, and with the large map, it makes this all possible while keeping it really fun too. So that about wraps it up for this overview video. Honestly, Splitgate 2 is truly a huge improvement over its predecessor. The new maps added, the new game modes, the new weapons, characters, and equipment all are a huge game changer for Splitgate, and a huge step up from the original. I've had nothing but fun playing this game so far, and look forward to playing it more very soon. So, you know, if you haven't already, I do highly recommend you check out the open alpha when you get the chance, and you can do so using the link in the description below to get ready for it. But you know, aside from that, if you plan on trying this out, and if you enjoyed the first Splitgate, you're definitely gonna love the second Splitgate. And if you're coming from other genres of games, no matter like what kind of shooter game you come from, or other kind of like multiplayer game, there's definitely gonna be something in Splitgate 2 that is very attractive to you. That's really enticing for you to try out and play. And also even like some stuff that's familiar to you, or things that you may like recognize, like certain mechanics or certain abilities. You might recognize them from other games too. And in Splitgate 2, there'll definitely be something familiar to everyone, and it'll be a lot of fun for everyone as well. So once again, definitely check it out if you can with the open alpha, and I look forward to seeing you all in the arena. Bye guys.